Two major factors, and they're somewhat intertwined. But of course, the COVID pandemic has created a loss in the labor force with manufacturing, be it in Japan or be it in the United States. So it's tempered the pace in which the cars are produced. The other item is the chip crisis, the chip shortage. Cars are three-fourths of the way completed on the assembly line, but they need a chip to finish through, so they have to park them to the side. And neither one of those, I don't believe we're going to see a difference in 2022. I'm not an expert on the pandemic, but it seems to be with us for a while now, maybe different strands, maybe not as potent. But either way, it's going to disrupt the workforce just like it has in the construction business, the service business, restaurants, hotels. And then compounded with that, you have the lack of chips. So what's that done? What that has occurred is it's a lack of sales in total volume. But what cars are available, be it used or new, they're captured a very high premium. So dealerships are actually making more money through this craziness, ironically. They're making more money per car being sold, be it new or used. People are shying away from buying as the inventory is not there and the cost factors are increasing. People are shying away from buying new and used cars, which then goes to the service industry. The auto industry is a great economic indicator, just like first-time home purchases, just like other indicators out there. And so inflation is, there's the automobile groups and manufacturers are not immune to inflation. Parts go up because the materials are more expensive. Labor goes up because there's less people. So it's just causing a increase in cost and increase at the end of the day on what you're going to pay for your car. I think what you see again is used car prices, I believe, were up on the average of 35% from the prior years. New cars, I believe it's about 16 to 18% for the same vehicle, for the same, basically everything, but the inflation and the economy has caused this. So again, what it's helped, ironically, is the dealership groups and the dealership owners to increase their profitability. And again, the other side of that is it's causing a lot of customers that were thinking in their third or fourth or fifth year of their car to, upgrade and get another car. Maybe not. Let's get those brakes. Let's get those tires. Let's reset our car. Yeah, it might be $1,000, $2,000, but I own that car now. So, looking at the price increases and looking at the value of what they have, has changed a lot from, 3 years ago. Leases were very popular. Just lease a car every 3 years, buying a car every 3 years, getting a new car. It was almost a self-sustaining business. And this has put a kink in it. But again, the irony of it is there's a lot of money being made. Back to the service end, a lot of customers are opting to keep their cars and put money into it. One side, they said, well, if I sell it as a used car, I can make good money on it. But then what do they do for transportation? They have to buy a car. So initially, when COVID hit, everything just stopped. But automobile dealerships were still open because they were considered a necessity. And I'm not sure about that, because if you can't drive to work and you can't drive anywhere, what type of necessity was it? And you look back and think back when COVID really hit at the end of March and the beginning of April, it was catastrophic. Everybody just stopped what they're doing and said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to work. I'm not touching anybody. I'm not seeing anybody. But most of the states considered automobile dealerships, particularly service departments, essential. And so they stayed open. But the fixed ops business, parts and service, certainly took a hit because people, even though dealerships were open, were not opting to go in. And that was pretty much the end of March, April, May. Not that the pandemic changed or got better, but in June and July, I saw what I coined is basically COVID revenge. People had enough. They had to get out of the house. They wanted to get their cars fixed. There were recalls that needed to be done. They needed brakes. They needed oil changes. So it flooded the market. So you have that over the course of the next year and a half coming in, compounded with the people that aren't buying new cars and aren't buying used cars. They're servicing their car. So we're finding quite a bit of dealerships, service departments booming right now during the pandemic, which is sometimes counterintuitive. You wouldn't think it would happen, but it is. And that's good, again, for the dealerships to maintain their strength. And we need that. We need restaurants and automobile dealerships and construction workers, to be out there working and making money. Because when our technicians get their check, they may go out to dinner with their family.
Right.
But when COVID first hit, they weren't going out to dinner, A, because of COVID, and B, because they didn't have any money. They had to figure this out. So, yeah, there's been a lot of issues that have been coming. So the fear of the COVID and then getting around that, the pent up need for and recalls that are coming out. And again, the chip shortage is just dragging the new car sales down, but fortunately, knock wood, that the dealerships can make money on the profit side of it. Probably the number one challenge that our service departments and dealerships are experiencing is a labor shortage. There seems to be a lack of people in the pipeline coming through that want to do this as a profession. What they want to do, cybersecurity, computers, I don't know. But there's all types of people out there. There's people that go to college and they find out after being a year or two in the office that, that's not for me. I need to be touching things. I need to be up. I can't be sitting at a desk. But if there was one greatest issue right now that is staring us in the face in the fixed ops is shortage of labor. Technicians, parts countermen, service advisors. It's hard work. It's long hours. It's very similar to being in the restaurant business, the hotel business, long hours, a lot of upset and angry people because they've got COVID or their family's COVID or their government's telling them what to do or how to do it, wearing the face mask, not wearing, all these pent up frustrations. And they're quite often thrown out at the people that are trying to help them in the service department, in the restaurant. And a lot of people saying, not gonna do it, sorry. So, some of the dealers are getting creative, finding technicians, taking some people from maybe the HVAC world, taking people from, electricians and trying to encourage them to come in to the auto dealerships. Then it goes right back to the almighty dollar. There's quite a bit of competition out there where some of the dealers are stepping it up and saying, we're going to pay what I find to be astronomical wages, but they're in a crunch situation and they say, if we're going to do it, we got to go, and we're going to go hard, and we're going to try and get ourselves situated. We are in the customer service business, and we happen to work on cars. We're in customer service. We're dealing with somebody whose pet may have died before they came in, or whose son just graduated from MIT and they're the happiest people in the world. You never know what's happening with your customers. So while we're the experts on the cars, we can't assume they are, and we need to respect their piece, their place, respect the fact that they're coming in and trying to hand us money. So just sometimes taking a step back and respecting the owners that are taking risks every day that, they could go out of business, particularly when COVID just hit, the customers that are coming in, and that you're making a paycheck and you're making good money. I think that's paramount with what we have, not only just in our industry, but all industries, just taking a step back and appreciating what we have.